So Matthew Justice says, guess I can finally post this. He's with Gringo Loco and Stephanie McMahon, and they're chilling. Okay. Lex Luger. So we have who's going to induct who into the Hall of Fame. So Lex Luger will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame by Diamond Dallas Page. HBK is being inducted, or is inducting Triple H, rather. Undertaker is inducting Michelle McCool. People got triggered by the Lex Luger thing with DDP. Well, here, I'll get through these. CM Punk's inducting Austin versus Brett. So people were triggered about the Luger thing with DDP and Sting. Listen, I don't know it all. I'm not a news hound. I don't go sniffing around for news. I don't give a... It's just if I were to take a guess, an educated guess, I'll say I'm educated enough on this. I keep my eye on this stuff. I don't know if WWE even reached out to Sting for Luger. Here's the thing. Dave, maybe it's wrong now because Dave's saying it, but he basically corroborated. I've been saying for a long time that people like Billy Gunn and Jake Roberts and Sting still have WWE Legends deals where they give them money, and basically, like, if they want to put Sting in a video game, they can. They just don't because he's so heavily affiliated with AEW. With Ric Flair right now, I don't know about all that. And here's the thing. Ric Flair is a different... I think he does have a Legends deal because, as he said in the press, you know, Tony understands the value of him being at these events. But he just recently did say that he's not going to be at Mania, and he can't be because of his thing with Tony Khan. So the thing with Rick is he might get himself in jankier deals than other people, okay? Just to be honest. No, like, just think about Rick, you know? However... Not to say that Tony Khan couldn't block people if he didn't want to from going to a like appearing on TV in any capacity. I think if that is in the contracts, that's fair game, and he should exercise that right if he wants to. I have no problem with that. People sign deals, they know what's in them. I think when... You know, WWE's already putting DDP, like DDP's heavily affiliated. He's like part of the video game, the story mode. He's like heavily affiliated with WWE. You guys know what I'm saying? I think that's something a little bit different there where we'll just go with DDP. He got you to walk again, essentially, or whatever. He got you to take, or Butterbean to walk again, and Lex Luger, who knows? If he stands up out of that goddamn wheelchair or whatever, that'll be insane. Or even if he can't ever again, that's fine. I don't know the severity of his stuff, right? I'm just saying he's working with DDP. They might, you know, maybe DDP will help him up, whatever. But they're working together with that. And with Sting, it's like, he probably is like, yeah, I'll do it for a big fee too. You don't know what Sting... It's not like WWE just have the rights to use Sting. Sting can do what Sting wants to do. If Sting really, really wanted to be there, he'd be there. And maybe it was a money thing. Maybe Tony like asked him as a friend, don't do it or something. Tony claims he never talked to Sting. But DDP's a good choice. And whatever the backstage is, there's contract. Just at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't think Billy Gunn's going to be in AEW much longer. I have further evidence to support that, just saying. And I think that's why he was used in the game, because they kept him out of last year's game. Why didn't they use him in last year's game, but they kept Jake in? You know, well, Jake's sort of inconsequential, right? He's never on TV, hasn't been in years. He just gives him money. Like Tony will give Rita Chatterton money. You know what I'm saying? So if Jake's like, hey, man, just give me $100,000 and I'll be where, you know, a year. And then he goes to WWE and, hey, you guys can use me in game, whatever. But Billy Gunn this whole time has had a Legends deal. Sting has, Jake Roberts has. There might even be other people, I don't know, right? Either way, though, more on this whole AEW, WWE stuff, because we got Jericho talking. We'll get into that in a bit. HBK is the correct guy to induct Triple H. I think we all knew it was either him or Stephanie. Undertaker to induct Michelle McCool. Now, people are like, why isn't what was her name? Layla? Lay Cool was their tag team name, right? So the girl's name is Layla, I believe, right? Or Lila or something. Lay Cool was the team, right? I'm not that up. Anyways, it was a long time ago, folks. But that was her tag partner, and I get that. And they were the first, like, co-Divas champions and, you know, a little bit ahead of their time. There was no women's tag division there necessarily, or tag titles, to say the least. So Layla's cool and all that, but it's Undertaker, so... And that's her husband, and he's going to be there. He is like a legend, the icon, the phenom. It's bigger for the marquee. And it's not like she won't be there and she won't be thanked, I'm sure, and brought out and everything. Who knows? All I'm saying is that Taker is definitely the choice, no, and it's really up to Michelle. It's not like Taker's like, shut up, bitch. I'm going up or you will rest in peace. Then you have the natural disasters. Who will induct them? I have no clue. It doesn't say for them. And yeah, that's my breakdown, I guess. And, oh yeah, and then Punk will induct Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I mean, that's the right guy. He's sort of an amalgamation of them both. He's certainly a mark for them both. And yeah, he'll give a great speech. And this is sort of the fun, hey, we're inducting a moment. And this is where you kind of just have a current star, or you throw in a guy like Punk, who is a legend / current star. Like, whatever. Punk has legendary status at this point, that she's done in pro wrestling, let alone WWE. But who else? I think I saw some people be like, oh, why doesn't this like Michael Cole, or not Michael Cole, but Jim Ross would have been cool, or someone else to induct them. But I mean, Punk's, and it's awesome that they're getting inducted, like Austin and Bret. I thought Austin and Bret would just get like a side award and then they'd just like be at WrestleMania. So I didn't know that they were actually going to be like paraded out there together, which is incredible. So we're getting a couple nights of Stone Cold action, because he's got to show up at WrestleMania and stunner someone. No? That's got to happen. Can't wait for it. Sol Ruca has captured the WWE Women's Speed Championship. Amazing for her. WrestleMania 41 will reportedly be 9 hours for each show. Aw, come on now, Nick Khan. Aw, come on now, Triple H. PWT for 9 hours both days. No, we're not doing that, obviously, but because the pre-shows are like 3 or 4 hours. So they do the same thing for the Super Bowl and all that type of where the pre-shows are really, really, really long. So unless they're like, here's a match that couldn't fit on Mania, like they're not doing the Battle Royal on there. So it's just for them to stream all day and have something, just people online on their phones or wherever they stream. You can just throw WrestleMania vibes on all day as you clean and get ready for your Mania party or your guests or your food or whatever you're doing, right? What people do for Mania. You got to run out, it's there. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. Yeah, we'll pop on. I pop on an hour typically before things go off. So each night of Mania will be like 4 hours. So I'll pop on an hour early for each one. Talk of Jordynne Grace's WWE pay. Grace is making more from her WWE salary than her TNA salary. No, she effectively took a pay cut by giving up other ventures to join WWE. There you go. So everyone who freaked out before, oh, she took a pay cut to go to the Fed, they're all idiots. So here's some outrage over the Tiffy Charlotte stuff. Cultaholic says the original plans, and this is via WrestleVotes, which I mean, what's their batting average? I don't know about how accurate they are. I guess I'd have to look back in hindsight. I don't follow them closely enough, though they make the show like once a show. But anyways, WrestleVote says Charlotte was going to say that she was pissed off by the comparisons between her and Tiffy and that she viewed them as an insult. Tiffy was going to interrupt and ask Charlotte how she can claim to be the leader of the women's division when she's only had 30 matches in 3 years. Charlotte would comment on Tiffy using Money in the Bank to win the championship and call it a ski lift to the top of the mountain. Tiffy would then say it was great that Charlotte had climbed back up the mountain, but at WrestleMania she will fall back down. Here's my problem with this. None of this even remotely happened. So someone just sent this buddy the script or what? Seems fishy. And then they worked like a shoot, which we're going to take a look at. So I don't know why this is in here either. These always seem to slip through the cracks. But Dynamite did 659. NXT is why this is in here. Did a 683 rating there. Save the congratulations for the IWC Glazers, says Angelo Dawkins. Okay, so let's listen to him say that. Then I have to shut this clip off quickly, or WWE's going to strike me down with Thor's hammer.
But save the congratulations for the IWC Glazers.
The IWC Glazers. You guys hear that? You know who you are. So exclusive, Trick Williams, a breakout star in WWE's NXT brand, is set for a guest star role in All-American per Variety. Shout out Trick Willie. So here's a little work shoot, brother, between Tiffy and Charlotte. And I'm really excited for this match because now that it's so obvious they're working together, or even if they do have differences, they are being uber professional about it. Can't wait for the match. I think they're both going to cook. I don't know what their chemistry's like thus far in ring because we haven't seen much of it, but I just really think they're going to steal the show. Charlotte's capable of doing that, man. At the drop of a dime, she can be a show stealer. Mrs. WrestleMania, for sure. Here we go.
Yeah! I'll help you. Don't worry, I'm coming.
And then the Street Profits are just there.
That's the queen. Don't fuck the queen.
I got Band-Aid.
I got a Band-Aid. Street Profits are like, whoa, what happened? Then they're selling Yeah, the Street Profits know better than to get involved between two white women fighting in a parking lot. Oh my god.
Trying to get you blindsided, girl.
I love it. I love what Naomi's doing too. So per WrestleVotes, people have been saying this and talking about this forever. Hikuleo is expected to debut in NXT around May or June and is set to receive a major push on the brand. I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll see. NXT? Is that the place for him? I would love to see Ava break off as general manager and just step into like a managerial role with some of these bloodline folks. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, shout out Hikuleo. Can't wait. Charlotte Flair says, after being blindsided by my personal trauma on live television, my character said something on air that was not true, and I'd like to take this opportunity to clear the air. I should have never called the Chicago fans smart. I sincerely apologize. Holy. Nick Khan giving Triple H his flowers at NAB 2025. I don't know what a NAB is. I know what nibs are, like those licorices. Those mini ones, right?
The characters are generational, so Bruno Sammartino to Hulk Hogan to Macho Man Randy Savage to Austin to Rock, Taker, right? Cena.
Triple H. To the characters.
Triple H was that dude, man. He was a key player, like, in that era, too, with Stone Cold and The Rock and Undertaker. Like, he was a guy you could go to, provided he did get hurt, but he was a guy that, because you got to cool people off sometimes. Like, you can't, and that doesn't mean, like, get them off TV, but Stone Cold can't just be the champion forever. Some people can. That's sort of their thing, like Roman, I guess. You know, Triple H had a bunch of reigns, one of them the Reign of Terror, but I loved that Evolution Reign of Terror with the World Heavyweight title. I always loved that. I've always loved that, and JBL's reign as well. So we have Finn Balor on Telemundo. Finn Balor was on Telemundo.
Sí, señores, yo les prometí que una superestrella de la WWE estaría aquí. Lo que no les dije es que iba a ser el mejor de todos. Welcome, mi amor.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. I know you've came to see me wrestle so many times that I'm a little bit nervous to be on your show for once.
So that's his wife, I believe, who hosts that show. Shout out Finn, winning, dude. Here's Becky Lynch saying that she legit might not come back to wrestling, which I believe. Okay, she has tons of We'll see her again. There will be like a one-off retirement, though. Like, I'm telling you, she's enjoying mom life. She can get acting roles. She can get books. She can get so many television spots. She can do so many other things now. And she's made so much money. And Seth is making a ton of money. And WWE has accommodated them and will accommodate them. And Becky will be like a WWE for lifer. Don't be shocked if we get like a Becky farewell tour sooner than later, you know? Don't expect her to even be like an IC champ and reign with the belt. Maybe that could happen. She win it once or something, but I just don't ever see it. I think she'd be like more of like a world title contender because you might as well. And she's already put Lyra over. That was her girl. Yeah, she's just enjoying being a mom, I think.
It's WrestleMania season, isn't it? You know, look, I'm not wrestling anymore. Maybe one day, but not right now. Oh, thank you very much. But my husband is.
And she's doing this at an improv. And why is she doing improv? Because she is trying to refine her acting skill, because doors are opening for her in other places. I assure you of that. So yeah, you know, a lot of these people, man, especially with these Netflix doors, and she's in Happy Gilmore too. Now, it's probably not a huge prominent role, but she's getting booked and stuff now. Okay, we'll see how far her acting chops take her. just based off her promo skills. She's a million times better than Ronda, and look the opportunities Ronda got. Yeah, shout out Becky Lynch, man. And she's clearly, look at that big smile on her face too. She's incredibly happy doing what she's doing right now. You can tell. Now, will she get that bug to get in front of a crowd? Yes, they all do. Will she have her Bautista moment? Tell me what you want. Oh, tell me what you want. We will get that one day, but she'll probably rip it on the mic a little better. Because Batista was never known for, like, his mic skills, you know? But yeah, shout out Becky. Amazing. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team Championship is reportedly not planned for Mania. So again, you need the Battle Royal and, like, one title match for the SmackDown Go Home. I'm okay with that. I knew that was coming. I thought it would be like the Women's US or something like that, and this would make the pay-per-view, or the PLE, whatever. It is what it is, you know? Some people got to bite that bullet. You're still in Vegas. It's better to get work than not. It is unfortunate they don't overstuff, but I mean, look at the cards, man. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 matches both nights. I mean, I think that's enough matches. When you go beyond 7, bro, so you need matches for the Raw after Mania. We need that to feel special too. Everyone cries about, oh, the Raw after Mania's never hit anymore. Well, we need it to hit, so we better have some debuts and returns, and we better have some title matches, right? There's got to be some, or else you guys are going to cry about that too, so you can't have your cake and eat it too all the time. Honky Tonk Man has signed a new multi-year Legends deal with WWE. So the lingo behind these are difficult too, right? So here at PWT, blanket term call it a Legends deal. However, they're dishing out nostalgia deals, Legends deals, licensing deals when people aren't on Legends deals, but they'll still have these WWE licensing deals where they just keep people in their licensing so they can do with them, so they don't up and accidentally print merch with someone they don't have licensed and then they get sued. You guys get what I'm saying? Cross their T's and dot their I's. But yeah, dude, so again, the lingo with Sting, like Sting might have licensing only with whoever he wants, and Tony can't do, but who knows if Billy Gunn has a Legends or a nostalgia deal, right? Who knows the exact details of everyone. When there's a public statement though, and Honky Tonk Man's like, I signed a Legends deal, then moving along. Kevin Owens, we talked about the airport stuff. The Rock, we're going to get into that in just a moment. But speaking of The Rock, Carl Anderson talks about his disappointment towards The Rock. Carl Anderson says he was on Mount Rushmore. Actually, we'll circle back to that, okay? We'll circle back to that because that sort of ties into what we were talking about before. So Saraya says her WWE return will have to wait until 2026 because she's taking it easy this year. She says, I do want to take 2025 as a time to find myself a little bit and kind of get my feet wet outside of wrestling. Well, it's good, Tony. I wonder if Tony bought her out or if she was like, if you just let me go, it's cool. Or if she's like, look, just pay me for the next 90 days and I'll sign a no-compete, and but you don't have to pay me till September or whatever, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, you don't have to pay me till September or something. Like, I wonder how she was able to get out of it, you know, because whatever the agreement is can sometimes indicate, like, because if she's like, just get me out of this deal, please, Tony. It's all good. I just want to be free to do other stuff. That could be an indicator of like her just wanting to get the out of there, you know? That's what interests me about all the contract situations. And like, I don't want anyone to get sued, but when I hear like Ryan Nemeth putting his foot in his mouth and it might result in contract coming, it's like, all right, I'm here for that. I'm here for it, Eric. So Saraya says, I do want to take 2025 as the time to find myself, etc. She goes, I didn't realize so many people would want to see me back in WWE. It's just insane how many people are talking about me going back to WWE. Well, yeah, I mean, she is a legit star. Now, do I think she's putting it over a little bit on her own, or the Groon Rome show, whatever that is? Yes, absolutely. But there is a call for it. Like, Florence Pugh played her in a movie, okay? That's all we got to say at the end of the day. I don't even know if there's a place for me there right now. She could just cut promos. She was a GM before. Maybe she could be a manager, or maybe she could just sign a nostalgia deal and go do movies. She's like, I'm trying to get my feet wet in other stuff. Go do that. But per Fightful, speaking of KO, the internal belief is in WWE is that Kevin Owens isn't expected to return at any point in 2025, and there's a strong possibility he could also miss WrestleMania 42. Now, if KO's working and he just shows up and jumps the head of Randy Orton at WrestleMania, or at like Backlash or SummerSlam or something. That could be crazy. However, I don't know if they would work people to this severity, because why would you kill all the heel heat you spent so much time building up, right? Like, I just think that's a little too wild to just all of a sudden do this, where Randy might fight Nick Aldis at WrestleMania. And I love Nick Aldis. I'm not on him, but it's just such a last minute thing where it's like, what? You know? Or Solo Sikoa, more than likely. I'm praying for KO, and I hope he just gets better. And that style, man. It's that style. So earlier in the show, we mentioned how Carl Anderson said that he was disappointed when he saw all of the NXT people crowd around. And I'm assuming NXT, because he was on the NXT brand. The Rock made a stop at NXT, and he said that all the wrestlers crowded around Gorilla and asked for pictures with The Rock or whatever. And he was like, yeah, that was weird. I was disappointed in that or whatever. And he just recently got released. Now, I said it before and I'll say it again. I always thought the Good Brothers were good brothers because they don't burn bridges. They just stay in shape. They look good. They wrestle good. They do their job. They go where they're supposed to go, put people over. They don't have boo-boo face, right? And they just, hey, if you guys pay us, we'll come. We don't burn bridges. Well, they're just talking some now. I don't know if this is a way for them to try and gain favor with Tony Khan. Maybe. I'm not trying to put that on the Good Brothers. I'm huge fan of these brothers, brother. But Carl Anderson continues about The Rock, and he talks about his disappointment towards The Rock, and he says he was on Mount Rushmore. I would have put 4 Rockies on Mount Rushmore. I put the sad face there because, how do I say this? Maybe this is a little disappointment, like, oh, I got to talk about it. I'm disappointed. Trust me, when I saw people running up to The Rock backstage at Gorilla and ask for pictures in Gorilla, I was like, I got to get out. The same for me, brah. So we reiterate what I prefaced this with. However, just to add more context, to further this quote, it was like he was on Mount Rushmore, but how do I say this now? I got to talk about it. So maybe The Rock did come in and around a bit around WrestleMania time, and maybe there is a little bit of credence to that or credibility to that. People saying that. At the same time, maybe they're resentful because of the budget cuts and who they're bringing in now, or whatever who knows. Maybe there's a little bit of jealousy. Maybe he's trying to earn favor with Tony Khan. I don't know, but it's weird that you would kind of take a shot like that. Maybe he saw something he didn't like, or it rubbed him the wrong way. It doesn't seem like he's angry. He's just saying what he's got to say about it. But Carl Anderson was recently teased by the Young Bucks, which we're going to talk about in a little bit in AEW news. Him and Luke Gallows were teased for New Japan. And the Bucks are going back to New Japan, I guess, as well. They just showed back up in AEW and surprise, back in New Japan. Go figure. Gallows and Anderson are teased about showing up in MLW, and they're teased, the Bucks teased them showing up in New Japan again as well, or shouted them out at least. Right? So, they're getting jobs again wherever they need to. And so what's funny about them taking shots at The Rock, or rather Carl Anderson, The Rock was posted on the New Japan Pro Wrestling IG account, but this was after The Rock posted pictures of himself wearing a New Japan Pro t-shirt and a Rubik's Cube. And I don't know what's on the white middle piece. If somebody can do some crazy photo stuff and figure out what logo or what symbol is that on that white middle piece of this Rubik's Cube, and The Rock wearing a New Japan shirt and looking at this Rubik's Cube, thinking about how he's going to put the pieces together and make this New Japan deal work. Now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but your boy Phil's been saying for a long time, I think this year, in 2025, New Japan is going to not explicitly say, hey, AEW, but I think they're going to say, hey, we're open to working with whoever in America right now. And, your boy Rocky Maivia doesn't just post this for no reason. You've never seen him at an event just wearing All Japan FMW Frontier Martial Arts gear, right? You don't see him wearing ECW shirts. This is him. Not only that, okay, but I think people tried to look up this shirt, and I don't think you can buy this shirt. There's white print and hoodies. And if that is the case, then he went and got this made himself. But he's Rubik's cubing. He's going to put the pieces together. Now, let me walk you back. Let me walk you back in time to why I told you guys this, okay? Why I've been saying this before anyone's been saying this, okay? Nick Khan, if you guys remember, right? We go back in time. I don't have time travel music, so we'll play another X-Files, right? When Daniel Bryan was leaving WWE to go to AEW, one thing Nick Khan was literally going to negotiate and was willing to and had everything lined up was he was going to allow Danielson to not only wrestle, well, they allowed him to wrestle again in WWE because they wanted to keep him, and then they kept him, but he was going to allow him to wrestle in New Japan part-time, and he was going to allow him to do that as part of his deal to keep him in WWE. Danielson decided, I'm still going to AEW. And at that time, AEW had a legit partnership. But that aside, Nick Khan was still, he's a mark, bro. He's like, no, we'll work a deal to keep Danielson, right? So you understood this, but Danielson now, he's over with AEW. So it's not like working with New Japan is something Nick Khan and Triple H wouldn't want to do. And The Rock doesn't hear and is like, okay, what's the biggest organization out there? Now, I have it under good authority as well. Right? And I'm no dirt sheet.
Allegedly.
You probably go look this up on Twitter. You'll see other people saying it, not just me. Who's AEW partnered with? CMLL? Well, AAA and WWE might be. They're accumulating a lot of Mexican talent right now. Latino heat's running wild again all over WWE. And all I'm saying is like AAA, man. Conan, that's what he books. Conan. All I'm saying. So you're starting to see this more of a global thing. And they already work with Pro Wrestle Noah. Now, when I heard that New Japan was a part of the, what is it called? United Japan Pro Wrestling Alliance. Is that what it's called? The UJPWA or the UJPW or the UJPA, whatever they call it, UJWA. We'll just throw every single one out there and shout them all out. When they formed that sort of alliance, which is essentially like the NWA of Japan territories, Noah's a part of that. New Japan's a part of it. And all of the Japan feds are like, we got to work together to get a resurgence back in Japan. What have you seen? New Japan distance themselves, not distance, but Gabe Kidd's still taking shots. And hey, I pointed it out at Wrestle Kingdom at the New Year here. They did 2 shows, New Japan versus AEW one night. And then they did the next night, they had only New Japan guys wrestling New Japan guys, no AEW people. And just the New Japan guys outdrew the show with the same guys, but versus AEW. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd think the American guys come over and it draws more money because it's stars you don't normally see. AEW's only hurt New Japan. So I'm not saying New Japan will be like, we're not working with AEW at all. But what they'll say is like, we're going to work with WWE. And then Tony's going to have a meltdown. The sickos are going to have a meltdown. They're going to start roasting Gabe Kidd and all these people they blow and love typically. AEW, if Tony's smart, he won't stop working with New Japan. But we'll see that. Gabe Kidd was calling out Randy Orton. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we'll get Randy Orton in New Japan, but what I'm saying is like, we might see that moment where Tony Khan's like, well, you guys can't have Jack Perry if Braun Breaker's going to be there, or however if Shinsuke's there, then whatever. Right. And, people talk about Shinsuke and Karrion Kross and some of these wrestlers who I think would love to go to Japan. Natty right now is doing the Crockett Cup with NWA. She's doing GCW Bloodsport. She told WWE, I want to go do others. Do you not think Japan might not be? I want to have a women's match in Japan at the Tokyo Dome or something. And Nick Khan was going to do that for Danielson. You don't think he's willing to do this for just in general and to just keep a clean sweep on the wrestling biz? Like, they're trying to go absolutely global. So this isn't for nothing. The Rock is doing this purposefully. I told you guys in 2025, 2 things. We're going to see a mass exodus from AEW. And even if we stop now, mass exodus is a very verbose and flamboyant and entertaining way. I'm doing an entertaining show here. Okay, so of course I'm using flagrant language when I'm saying a mass exodus. But even if we stop now, how many people have already left AEW or are trying to get out of their deals? Even Jericho might be gone, guys. And I told y'all for how long. Jericho ain't staying there forever. You guys think he's staying? He tried to get back and come in the Rumble with Judas playing as an AEW guy. He tried to do that already. You don't think he wants to go back to... You don't think he sees the business they're doing? That's why he went to New Japan. He saw the business they were doing. He helped elevate it. This isn't by mistake what's going on here, okay? And I called this out a long time ago. I told you guys, a bunch of people are going to leave AEW, and we're going to see New Japan's distance from AEW a little bit. And their Battle Riot show in Chicago coming up sold 4K tickets. AEW can't sell 4K tickets for a Dynamite. They want to work with WWE stars when they come to Chicago. They want to work with NXT guys when they do Windy City Riot and when they go to California. You know, they want to work with WWE and TNA because with WWE comes TNA, you know? So this isn't by mistake. This is very calculated why The Rock posted this. And just another, I hate being right, but I love telling you I told you so. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a long WWE news segment.